All right. So let's just do a time machine to the way back era. Do you what is let's go back to like Trump's first term. You know I love talking about Trump. What would you say that with people that hate Trump, like what's their number one instance that they like to cite? You know, which also would be the same thing as why do they keep saying he's racist? Why do they think he's racist? Why do they hate him? What's the number one cited thing that happened?
Um, in terms of why he's racist, I would either say because he called it the China virus, or I would say it was the time that he did that goofy dance. You know, those are the things that the first two things that pop into my mind.
No, I was
Why
hoping
would,
you're going to hit that. You remember very fine people on both sides?
oh, okay. Yeah. Down in, was that Charleston?
Charlottesville. Charlottesville,
Charlottesville. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
down
Good
in
people on both
Charlottesville.
sides. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I remember
Right.
that.
So what if I told you that was manufactured, 100% manufactured?
Which part was manufactured?
The whole protest that was there in the first place to create some sort of racist catalyst that Donald Trump just walked into and said the wrong thing.
Okay, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I am intrigued. I am intrigued. Okay, so I'm on video telling you I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, well,
Go.
you must have been down the wrong rabbit hole last night because like my phone was just blowing up all over the place. The SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, was indicted on 11 felony counts by Todd Blanche and the FBI yesterday. So now I'm going to read a little bit from USA Today because it's USA Today, so it's not like it's some like hard right-wing thing, but they're
USA
quoting
Today
Todd.
is complete garbage.
Well, then you're still going to like this. That's why I like reading from complete garbage when it agrees with us. The charges it is just a part of it. This isn't the whole article. The charges focus on the SPLC's use of paid informants who, according to prosecutors, were given large sums of money to infiltrate some of the nation's most infamous and dangerous extremist groups. This tactic, Blanche said at the press conference, quote, was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred, unquote. The federal indictment against the SPLC states, quote, unbeknownst to donors, some of their donated money was being used to fund the leaders and organizers of racist groups, including the Ku Klux Klan, the Aryan Nation, and the National Alliance. How do you like that?
Oh, okay. So what? So this is the controlled opposition situation.
There
Okay.
wasn't enough racism going on to make Donald Trump look like a racist, so they manufactured some racists. Like Patriot Front. Remember how we couldn't figure out where they were? We're like, oh yeah, they're feds. Guess what? They were feds.
Yeah. I mean that. So here's what I'll say. You know what I don't understand is that everybody's always talking about white supremacists, white supremacists, white supremacists is the biggest problem in America. White supremacists is the biggest problem in America. And the only problem I have is that I I can think of one white supremacist that there was one dude when I used to work in a store. He had a big Hitler tattoo on his. He had a tattoo of Hitler on his neck, and he was one of these like little bulldog kind of blonde haired kind of Aryan
Mhm.
white guys. You know, that's it. That's it. So white supremacists, the biggest problem in America is this one dude that I used to sell koi fish to back in 2002. I don't
It's,
think so.
it's funny you mentioned koi fish because I have your number, the other racist that's on the planet. There's this great pet store up in Langhorne, and I would go there for supplies. So I do ponds like you do. I do ponds, I do tanks, whatever. And I'm looking into making my pond, and you got to think about like animal deterrents. Like you got to keep the heron out, you got to keep the foxes out, all this other stuff.
Mhm.
And this one guy's like, he's selling us. There's like this. It's a sprinkler system, like so it gets triggered by motion and it shoots like a blade of water at whatever it is. It's wicked.
I
Like it's
used to
like if you,
sell them.
so you know what I'm talking about. Like if you
Yep.
get that point blank range in your leg's getting cut, right?
Mm,
And he was telling me how it's great to keep the ends out of your backyard.
mm.
So
Oh,
yeah, he just like
okay.
dropped the N bomb on me. I'm like, yeah, that's not my reasoning for buying this, and I'm gonna go to a different store. But
Right.
so we found the two white supremacists in the Pennsylvania area.
So white supremacy is something that look, it's not really around, and if it's not powerful, it wasn't so at one point, you know. I guess it was who Dred Scott back in the day, is how that started, if I'm not mistaken. Nathan Bedford Forrest, I think, was the
Hmm.
guy that started Nathaniel or Nathan Bedford
You
Forrest
sound like a
started the
fan.
KKK. You know what I mean? So I'm a history buff, But the point is that those guys, yeah, those guys wouldn't have been a fan of me. If I were a fan of KKK, I'd be like the gays for Gaza. Hey, Dominicanos for KKK.
Right.
But
Well,
anyway, so
no, go on.
point is that racism exists. There's always going to be piece of garbage racist people. So as long as there's piece of garbage racist people, people can shine a light on that and go, it exists and it's a problem. It exists and it's a problem. But it's not a problem to the point where, as you're saying, they had to pay people to show up to create the problem. Controlled
Exactly.
opposition.
Right. So what I really another thing I liked about this, besides the fact that we're busting corrupt fake organizations and we're trying to clear the air on, okay, we had this discussion prior in a prior talk about, how we licked racism, like like halfway through the 90s. We say like overt Ku Klux Klan white supremacy was pretty much dead. We
Gone.
gone, right? And it got revitalized by people like Barack Obama. Just because I don't know, it's just easy to exploit people when they believe they're being victimized because of the
Because
color
he
of their
was a
skin.
Manchurian Muslim.
You love using that Manchurian Muslim, right? So, it's nice that we've blown a giant hole in that narrative because I don't think people really believe. I think the people that are isolated in the suburbs, you know who I'm talking about, they want to believe anything MSNBC is saying. Like, so for instance, that's right. I do have more to say about this. Yeah, the spin is already on. Last night on MSNBC, I'm not going to play the clip, but quote, they indicted the SPLC, so they're on the side of racists. That's MSN, well, MS now because they're not MSNBC anymore. And
Wait,
everybody's
they indicted the uh,
SPLC.
SPLC because they're on the side of racist?
Yes. Right, because they didn't go they in the conversation. I saw a clip of it in the conversation. They were saying, "Oh, well, of course they didn't go after the actual KKK. They didn't go after all these organizations that I don't even know if they really exist anymore. I mean, like, does the KKK really exist? Is it like a 401(c)(3) or what? I have no idea because I don't know anybody in it. And
So here's what I will tell you. Here's what I will tell you is everybody has heard the tale. There's always some tale of like, and pardon the term, but like midget world, and everyone talks about how, oh yeah, there's this place. Then it's over back behind this such and such. Yeah, it's I know a guy who knows a guy, and all the houses are small, and everybody there is 4'2",
I
and if you
saw a
show
video
up
of
and
that. I thought
try
that
and
was in
check
like
them up,
Mongolia.
yeah, they're mean, right? And everybody talks about how this exists, and every area has a version of that exists, and nobody's ever seen it before, but it's there. That's
Hmm.
the KKK.
Right.
That's the
And
KKK. It doesn't exist. I mean, look, are there dudes that are getting together, with hoods and stuff like that? Sure, but do they have any power like back in the Nathan Bedford Forrest days? No.
no, not at all. Anyway, so and then of course everyone's favorite loud talking politician, Cory Booker. I saved his X post just so we could, hear that one too. Senator Cory Booker. The DOJ just indicted the Southern Poverty Law Center, an organization that has spent more than a half a century fighting the Klan, tracking hate, and defending civil rights. Let's be clear about what's happening. This administration is using the full weight of federal prosecution to target an organization whose mission is rooting out violent extremism. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. There's more. This is part and parcel of Trump's assault on free speech, on non-profits, and on anyone who dares to disagree with him. First, it was lawfare against political opponents. Then it was revoking the tax status of universities. Now it's federal indictment against one of the most historic civil rights organizations in America, which, mind you, I hadn't heard of prior to like a decade ago. I don't know how old this Southern Poverty Law Center is, but The historic? The SPLC has saved lives. It will not be silenced, and neither will we. Good for you, Cory Booker. Everyone loves to listen to you talk for a day.
So what Cory Booker is doing is Cory Booker is going, I'm Cory Booker and I'm from the government. So a lot of people are going to assume that I know better than them. So I'm going to establish it as an afterthought that the Southern Poverty Law Center has always been a beacon of responsibility. And because I'm Cory Booker and you're not, you got to trust me because you don't know. So now all of a sudden it's just not only is it this is a new thing and what is it? It's already established that it is. So let's move on because if you're against them, you're a racist just like Donald Trump.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's amazing how quickly they spin it. It's almost as if that was part of the plan to begin with.
Almost certainly. They're trying to
Yeah.
defend their money. That's all it is. It's another money laundering sieve. That's it.
So
Sieve.
so
Sieve.
so here's one. Have you ever heard of the gentleman by the name of I'm going cold. His name is Robert Byrd.
Uh,
Robert Byrd.
was it
Robert
like Larry
Byrd
Bird's
is a
dad?
man, BY, not BI, right?
The
So
name
the,
sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you what he did.
let me tell you something. The difference between Larry Bird and Robert Bird is Larry Bird is interested in shooting free throws. But when Robert Bird's shooting, he ain't on a basketball court. As a matter of fact, Robert Byrd was such a racist that he decided, I hate black people so much, I'm going to create my own chapter of the KKK. And he created his own chapter of the KKK. That's who he was. And then he went into the United States government. And when he died, he was the mentor of the one of the people who gave his eulogy. And man, Hillary Clinton had all sorts of great things to say about Robert Byrd. And when you
Oh,
attack people
yeah.
and you tell them, you're like, oh yeah, Hillary Clinton's mentor he didn't just join the KKK for a while, like, yeah, I hate black people too, just to be part of the group. He started his own chapter. This is how dedicated he was.
Yeah.
He started his own chapter.
Because the
But
KKK wasn't extreme enough for him, right?
right. So he had to be his own. Like these guys are so awesome. We need a little here, and if it's not for me, no one's going to do it. So I got to do it. And then here's what they did. They went like this. Oh, he apologized. That's what the left said. He apologized, so it's okay. I literally had hardcore leftists that are like, Donald Trump is a racist. Yeah, he let Jesse Jackson stay rent free in in the Trump Tower forever at a really discounted rate forever. You know, well, that was to trick people into thinking he's not racist. They always have some type of a logic.
Now, the level of racism that the left says exists is simply a tool to manipulate people. 100%. That's it.